I'll be doing that. We'll start with at least Jayarada Madhav by the time people can join. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Nanjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jayo Radha Madhav Jayo Radha Madhav Radha Madhav Jayo Radha Madhav Jayo Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jayo Jayo Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhav Ki Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So Prabhu, should we start?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So first and foremost, um, we welcome you all back to this session where we are churning the nectar of Gajendra's prayers. What we saw in the first class was about the basic introduction of how Gajendra came to this problem of being in the lake of Ritumat garden in Trikuta mountain, and how he is struggling to get out of the shackles which he mentions as is the will of providence, the sharp teeth of the alligator or the crocodile, which is munching away gloriously into his feet and dragging him down into the waters of the pond. And we were seeing what was the thought process. We saw how his relatives, friends, everybody tried to help him, but everything was in vain. And after they all stopped helping him,
व्यास अर्जुन भीष्म कुंती महारानी
can
ये चंद्र होता है अभी
can
कर्दम
people
हुआ तो
can
वो सब स्टडी करता है
so there were various different ways by which he thought that he will somehow or the other escape from the clutches of the crocodile, but ultimately he fixed his mind and he remembered the mantra which he chanted in the last life as a king Indradyumna. So we will see from there today the prayers which will continue from verse number 5. We will try to cover at least 10 to 11 verses today. And tomorrow we will have the conclusive prayers and also a very brief on key learnings that we take overall from this whole chapter of Gajendra Udharana Leela or Gajendra Moksha Leela, however we want to call it. So, just because Srila Prabhupada mentions that we should always chant a mantra, but before we chant a mantra, let us auspiciously invoke the Mangalacharana and we will start today's class. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभयेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नामस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते तस्मै यत् एतच्चित् आत्मकं पुरुषायादि बीजाय परेशायाभिधीमहि. So we saw this prayer which was recited by Gajendra. In fact, there was one point which I wanted to share with all of you. The second verse in itself We saw this prayer. Just a quick recap. We will be moving on from verse number 5 and we will try to touch up to verse number 15 today, taking at least 10 prayers. If you look at this particular prayer, many commentaries have been written on this prayer. What is this prayer? This is the first prayer that Gajendra says, and the first word he uses is Om. Om is the Pranava, or it is called as the Omkar. And as I said in the previous class, many people feel this is not having a form, but Srila Prabhupada mentions very nicely that the Omkara is coming from Krishna, and Krishna himself says, I am the Omkara. So this is personally coming from Krishna, and he is the source of even the Omkara. So, from that perspective, we cannot say that this is impersonal. This is personal. But how do we understand this Om as personal? Great Ramanujacharya and many Sri Vaishnava scholars have extensively commented upon this particular word. And it is very important that we see the first two words are the most important and captivating words to call out for a prayer. Whenever we use these two words, Om Namo, the immediate meaning that we have in our mind is Om is addressing Krishna, and Namo means we address our salutations, or we offer our dandavats, or we offer our obeisances. This is the general meaning, which is the right meaning. But here, Gajendra's heart of hearts is being churned by Sukadeva Goswami. Why? Because it is Dhimahi that I am meditating. So these words are really not being, echoed upon. It is echoed upon, but it is coming from the heart. And Sukadeva Goswami is entering into the heart of Gajendra and capturing all these wonderful snippets. And this is being very clearly seen. The first two words is Om, and the way the word Om is actually split is A, U, and Ma. These are the three letters by which you can split the word. Aha. Aha means the protector. Who is the protector? Even in one of the names of Lord Narayan is Aha. Aha means he is the protector. And Ma means the protected. So the first thing that Gajendra is doing is he is clearly defining that I am to be protected. So the first question that he anybody would ask is, why should I protect you? You can protect yourself, right? Why should I protect you? That is why he uses the second word, Namaha or Namo. Namo means not the political discussions of Namo. Namo here means very simply he's saying Na Mama. That means I cannot protect myself. So this is very, very clearly being established. So he's saying, oh protector, you have to protect the protected, and hence you please come, because I cannot protect myself. So this is the start of the beautiful verse Om Namo. Just wanted to mention that if we go in this space of every word, and if we do the Sandhi Vichhed, or find the dhatu of that word in Sanskrit and get to know the meanings, we will get to know the inner strings of Gajendra. Not only Gajendra, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we will get to know the various different verses that each and every devotee has spoken, and they have spoken it for a particular reason. So in the second verse, he is actually mentioning, oh Lord, you are Adi Bijaya. Adi Bijaya means you are the cause of all causes. And at the same time, he is mentioning various other reasons, which we saw it in the last class. He mentioning that he is the cause of all causes. In the next verse, he is mentioning that he is the supreme energy, and he is saying, you are the most energetic, and now I have lost all my energy by fighting with this crocodile, so you please come and save me. So he is actually saying the characteristics of the Supreme Lord, which is verse 2 to 4. We will today see the fifth characteristic, which is actually called as transcendental. So let us read the prayer. Kalena panchatvam miteshu kritashnasho lokeshu paleshu cha sarvaheteshu tamastadasya gahanam gabhiram yastasya pare abhivirajate vibhu. So here he says, in the due course of time. So please understand, Gajendra is mentioning the characteristics of the Supreme Lord, and in that he is saying, in due course of time, when the time will pass, when all causative and effective manifestations of the universe. Word seems to be very difficult, but it is a very simple meaning. Everything that has come out of Krishna is an effect. Who is the cause? Because in the previous verse he has said, Krishna is the cause of all causes. So, when all the causative and effective manifestations of the universe, what are those manifestations? Planets, and each planet has their own directors, maintenance. Why is he talking about directors, maintenance? Because all of them are sitting on the top and watching this. Brahma, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Agni, Siddha, Deva, uh, Devis, then Kinnara, Gandharvas, all these people are sitting on the top and witnessing this tug of war which is happening for 1,000 celestial years. And while they are, so he's saying all these causative manifestation, because before he said yadidam, all that I am seeing here manifested in front of me, all their variety forms, everything is situated on the platform who is the Supreme Lord. Now he is saying everything that has come out, their directors, their maintainers, everybody, they think that they will live forever, but let me tell you, they are annihilated. And after annihilation, what happens? There is a situation of darkness. But you are not falling under this darkness. In other words, he is saying that you are beyond this material world. Your dhama, tad dhama paramam bhama. How can the Lord's dham, or how can the Lord's abode be in darkness? Because he says, "Natad bhashayate suryo, na shashanko na pavakaha, yad gatva na nivartante, tad dhama paramam mama." The 15th chapter he says very clearly, there is no need of electricity, fire. It is not illuminated by any of these. That means it is illuminated. It doesn't mean that if it is not illuminated, it is 0 watt bulb and it is also fused out. No, it is not in darkness. And the Gajendra is saying, your abode is above that. Above this darkness, however, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we are also in this material world in darkness. Uh, and that is why Srila Prabhupada, when he came out with his magazine called as Back to Godhead, the tagline for the magazine was, where there is Godhead. Now, what is the tagline for us? Nations. I forget the tagline. There is a beautiful tagline, Back to Godhead magazines, right? And where there is Godhead, there is no nations, something like that. I forget the tagline. Beautiful tagline where he says that when there is Krishna, Krishna is Surya Sama, Maya hi Andakaraha. So we are also in this darkness of this Maya we have caught. But if we want to take shelter, we have to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he is mentioning that, and with this 5 verses, he has completed the narrative. He has completed the narrative of saying the characteristics of the Supreme Lord. He is the cause of all causes. He is the supremely energetic. He is the platform on which everything resides, and he is transcendental. Transcendental means he is beyond this material world. Even when everybody is annihilated, he is not annihilated, because everybody will be annihilated and there will be darkness. But he is sitting above the darkness. So he is not annihilated. So this function is mentioned. Now, Gajendra will go internally and will talk about who is qualified to achieve that place. Now he has defined where Narayana is and how and who is qualified to reach that place. So he is going to mention about it, and he will say, I am actually very, very unqualified to reach. Many people can reach, but I am unqualified to reach. This is the humility that our Gajendra will exhibit. So let us see the verse. Na yasya deva rashaya padam vidu jantu punako harti gantum miritum yatha natasya kritibir vichesato Duratya Anukramanaha Sammavatu. So he says, a very beautiful comparison he gives. He says, an artist on stage. You might all have gone into many theaters or many dramas in our ISKCON movement. And in those dramas, you see one person will come, act on the stage. And it might be the same person who will take different roles in the drama. One time he will wear a wig, another time he will wear some other clothes, some attractive clothes. So an artist will always change his dress but appear in the same drama as different characters. So this is being explained. This allegory is being used by Gajendra, and he is explaining this very nicely. An artist on stage being covered by attractive dresses and dancing with different movements is not understood by his audience. Similarly, because the person who is inside that dress is different from what he is portraying outside the drama, isn't it? Somebody in the Ramayana drama will wear a fork tail, will hold a plastic gada, and will jump onto the stage and say, Jai Shri Ram. He might be looking like a Hanuman, but practically he is not one. He is a different personality. But because of his decorations, we will feel as if he is Hanuman, he is playing that character. So, similarly, here Gajendra is saying an artist on stage being covered by attractive dresses and dancing with different movements is not understood by his audience. Similarly, the activities and features of the supreme artist. So, our Krishna and Lord Rama are not mere artists, they are the supreme artist. And how to speak about this? We saw the entire 30 hidden Leelas of Damodar Leela during the Damodar month. Every action of his was a drama, and there was a real reason behind it, and only great personalities can understand. So he is saying here the activities and features of supreme artists cannot be understood even by demigods and great sages. Even if they put their brains and say why Krishna did what he did, why he did, they cannot understand because it is very difficult. And when even great demigods and sages cannot understand, he says, Jantupuna ko arhati. Mera kya arhati hai? What is even the capability or ability of whom? Jantuhu. I am just a mere animal. Animals are considered to be less intelligent than the demigods, sages, humans, etc. I am not even a human. I am just a Jantu and mad elephant. And how can an elephant understand your glories if even the great demigods cannot understand what is the artist in this thing? Neither the demigods, nor the sages, nor the unintelligent can understand the features of the Lord. And they cannot even express in words his actual position. But I know one thing. When you actually call, even though I don't understand you, even though I don't really understand you, or I cannot describe you, or I cannot describe your features, but I have one faith in me. What is that faith? If I call out for you, because you said, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto Ishwaras Sarva Bhutanam Hridadeshut Arjuna Tishtati, because you said that you are sitting in the heart of hearts of all the living entities, even the chit, even the achit, even the consciousness, even in the inanimate matters, you are constantly sitting there. So I know for a fact, if I call out for you, you will come. So that is why, may that Supreme Personality of Godhead give me protection. So this is the faith that Gajendra has. And this is the faith that Gajendra is exhibiting. In fact, if you look at the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, many devotees at various different junctures give this explicit, clear, distinctive knowledge to us that the only person who can protect us is the Lord. How? Let us take Dhruv Charitra. From the Dhruv Charitra, we come to know that mother and father cannot protect us. How much ever they might be the best well wishers, but the serpent of time will lead them away, and hence a mother or a father is not the ultimate protector. Dhruva's ultimate protector was Srimad Narayan. So he was the only one who protected him. By Prahlad Charitra, we come to know that father especially cannot protect us. Okay, mother might be emotional or mother might not be capable, but my father is very intelligent, he can protect. But sometimes fathers might not be most favorable. So we get to know by Prahlad Charitra that our own kith and kin and our own fathers sometimes cannot protect us and might be the reason to push us into danger. In fact, in the Shankaracharya's Bhajagovindam, there is one additional text written by his disciple. He says, richness is the most cruel example because of richness and wealth, sometimes even the son will kill the father will kill the son. So money is a very great matter by which there can be klesha. So please leave the money matters and please do Bhajagovindam. So this is mentioned that even father sometimes cannot protect. This is very clearly visible in Prahlad Charitra. In the Pandavas Leela, we see that even five mighty husbands cannot protect a wife. When Draupadi Vastravaharan was happening, the five Pandavas were sitting and thinking what is right, what is wrong. I did the Dhrut Krida right. Did I do the gambling wrong? Okay, I set the conditions. So they were also not able to protect. Who was protecting? Dwaraka Nilayachyuta. Govinda Pundari Kaksham Rakshamam Sharnagatam. The Pundarikaksha, the lotus-eyed lord of Dwarka, Dwarkadish, had to come and protect Draupadi. So husbands cannot protect. And then what about brother? Brother also cannot protect. Kumbhakarna and Vibhishana both could not protect Ravana. And these two brothers, though they gave intelligence to Ravana, they were not able to protect. And ultimately, what happened? That even Lord Ramchandra had to kill them. Even if you have to look into animals' case, Sugriva and Vali, brothers could not protect each other. So that is also an example that brothers cannot protect. Friends, nobody could protect. Ajamila was literally having a lot of friends, but nobody could protect him. Karna had the biggest of friends with Duryodhana, but because of bad association, he could also not be protected. And the biggest example of wives not able to protect is Gajendra, because his own wives tried to protect him. So in all these examples, we to see only one thing: who is the ultimate protector? The ultimate protector is Lord Krishna. Rakhe Krishna Mare Krishna Rakhe Khai. If Krishna wants to kill, who can protect? And if Krishna wants to protect, who can kill? So this is a very clear distinction, and this was understood by Gajendra. But he is saying, I am just a mere animal. I don't understand your great qualities. I don't understand the great features that you have. I don't understand. I am not even a person to be understood, because there are great sages and great demigods. They have not understood you because you are like an artist on the stage. Various colored garments you are wearing and various things you are dancing, due to which I don't completely understand you. So then he moves to the next verse. If I don't understand, let us see who is qualified enough to understand. So he is also given the qualification of who understands you. So it is a very good presentation. In presentation, you should say what are the don'ts or what are the qualities that is not there. At the same time, you should not leave the audience hanging, because they do not know what should I do to get the Lord. So you should also present the pros. You should always present the pros and the cons. So first Gajendra said, I am a Jantu, I cannot see, I cannot understand, but I will tell you who can understand. So he says, Didikshavo yasya padam sumangalam vimukta sangha munaya susadavaha charanti aloka vratam avranam vane bhutatma bhuta surdas samegati. He is giving the qualifications just like in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna gives very beautiful 35 qualities of devotees who can attain him. Sabhakta Same Priyaha, Sabhakta Same Priyaha. These are the devotees who are very favorable to me, or whom I am very fond of. Like that, Krishna says in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So here, there, he is mentioning those qualities, and similar qualities you can find here. And these are the qualities when we read, we should not say, "Ha, this quality I have, tick, check. This also I have. Yeah, ye thoda hai, 50% is there." No, these are the qualities that we have to develop, because when we develop these qualities, then only we are stepping on the first stone of qualification to do what? To understand what Krishna is. We cannot understand, but we are at least qualified enough to hear from the realized souls what Krishna is, what his features are. So let us read the meaning of Didrikshavo Yasya Padam Sumangalam. Didrikshava, those who are desired to see. Who are desired to see? Yasya, of him. What? Padam, or his lotus feet. Renunciants and great sages who see all living beings equally. First thing we have to see is all living beings have to be seen equally. Again, Bhagavad Gita being applied here. Who are friendly to everyone. No one should be envious of the other living entity. Not only human beings, living entity. One should not be envious to the tiger. One should not be envious to the elephant. They are all doing as per their pravritti, as per their karma. So one who is equal to everyone, who sees all living beings equally, for that the vision has to be spiritual and see the spirit soul in each of those living entities. So in other words, he is saying those great devotees who are self-realized and see the self in all the living entities, and who is friendly to everyone, and who flawlessly practice. इधर ही हमारा काम चला गया, because the one word which is written is flawlessly, and our practices are full of flaws. So, but this is the ultimate gold standard that Gajendra is saying, that flawlessly practice in the forest. Yeah, we are in the concrete forest. The vows of what? Brahmacharya, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa, those who follow all these criteria, they are qualified and they desire to see the all auspicious lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. May that same Supreme Personality of Godhead be my destination. This is a beautiful prayer, and I will tell you a very hidden meaning of this prayer, where Gajendra is saying, I also desire to see your lotus feet. He is not indirectly saying it. He is saying, I am not qualified, but I have heard about your lotus feet. It is very wonderful. It is Sumangalam. Sumangalam means not auspicious. Sumangalam, all auspiciousness. And he is saying that Bhutatma Bhutaha, that is one who is equal to all living entities. And let it that be Suhrada Same Gatihi, let that be my destination. So he's saying, I want to attain your lotus feet. He is saying, but I cannot. These people who have these qualifications, they will attain the lotus feet. Now look at the beauty. And when we describe this, we will talk about this. If you see the background of my virtual background today, you will see that Gajendra is holding a golden lotus on top of his trunk. Why was he holding? Because the crocodile had actually submerged him completely under the water, and only a part of his trunk was the only thing which was visible on the top. He was almost submerged, and he said, nothing doing. I have to give this lotus to the Lord. So something on the other side also happened. We have to talk about that as well. So we will talk about it, that what happened on the other side. The story has to also continue. While the prayers are happening here, we should also talk about the simultaneous parallel events which is happening in Vaikunta and all the other planets. So the first verse when he spoke, I need help. Om Namo, please protect me. I cannot protect myself. Then everybody, those demigods, they said, now is the chance. 1,000 years we have been waiting. This guy is asking for help right now. We asked him multiple times, if you want help, let us take help. So let us first go and help him. But then he immediately said, Bijaya. Then Bijaya means all the other demigods went away. Who is the Bija? Who is the creator of everybody? Brahma. So Brahma came. But then he used one more word, Adi Bijaya. Then he said, oh, Brahma said, this is not in my Aadhaar card also. I can't show my Aadhaar card. My Aadhaar card says I'm Bijaya, Moolaya. But he is saying Adi Moolaya. So he is saying Adi Moolaya. So that means this has to go to Vaikunta. This prayer has to go to Vaikunta. This cannot come. So in fact, in some commentaries, it is written, when Gajendra spoke these prayers mentally, these prayers actually reached each loka. Bhu, Bhuva, Suva, Maha, Jana, Tapa, Satyam. Like that, it reached each loka. And just like some messages are sometimes sent randomly on one WhatsApp group, and it has no bearings to the construct of that group or the context of the group, we humbly say this message do not belong to this group. Maybe you have wrongly forwarded it. But nevertheless, I know the other group where this is applicable. I will forward it out there. So what did these demigods do? First, Indra received it. Indra said, Adi Mulaya, wrong, not checked. Adi Bijaya, unchecked. Adbhuta Karanaya, no, I am not befitting any of these qualities. So let me forward it to the next planetary system. So Bhu gave to Bhuva, Suva, Maha, Jana, Tapa. Like this, it went up to Satyam, which is Tapaloka, which is of Brahmaloka. And Brahma said, look, this is not even falling in my purview, my perspective. So let me send it to Vaikunta. So now the prayers are reaching Vaikunta Loka. And in Vaikunta, from the Wi-Fi and the loudspeaker systems, it is blaring into Vaikunta. Huh? And it is saying that may that supreme personality of Godhead, whose lotus feet is Sumangalam, and who is touching those lotus feet and seeing this lotus feet, Lakshmi is actually witnessing this beautiful lotus feet of Krishna. This lotus feet of Sriman Narayan, she is actually massaging very nicely, and she is also appreciating. Who is that person who is appreciating what I am appreciating? So there is a commonality between what Gajendra is appreciating, and Lakshmi also loves to massage the lotus feet of Narayan. And Narayan is in a very beautiful way, he is sleeping on Anant Shesh. But I will stop that narration there, because as the prayers goes, we will talk about what is going to happen there. So the next verse, where he has mentioned about the qualification and also who is there, the next two verses start very beautifully. He is going to mention about the qualifications he has mentioned. Now he is going to talk about how the Supreme Lord has appeared. And I want you to look at this particular diagram, where Gaurang Prabhu very nicely explains that the Supreme Lord has appeared in a particular place by a particular process in different forms. So these are the next four verses. So please remember this. The next four verses will talk about which is the place that the Lord has come, what is the process, and what are the forms. So the first two verses, 8 and 9, will talk about how he came to the external world. That is the process that that is the place he's going to talk about, and how he is sitting internal in our heart, that he is going to talk about in verse number 10. So let's just quickly say those verses. Na vidyate yasya janma karma va nana na nama rupe gunadosha eva va tatapi lokapyaya sambhavaya yah swamayatani anukulam mruchati tasmai namah pareshaya brahmane ananta shaktaye arupayura rupaya nama ascharya karmane. He says, now please remember, he is saying about the place where the Supreme Lord is appearing. He says the Supreme Personality of Godhead has no material birth. So that means he has transcendental birth, right? Activities, name, form, qualities are false. He doesn't have material birth, material activities, material name, material form, material qualities, or material faults. That means he is Achyuta, he is infallible. He does not fall into any of these things materially. To fulfill the purpose for which this material world is created and destroyed, he comes in the human form of a he comes in the form of a human being like Lord Rama or Lord Krishna by his original internal potency. That means paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So for establishing the codes of religion of dharma, to protect my devotees and to annihilate the miscreants, he comes again and again into this material world, taking various different avatars, taking various different incarnations. And here Gajendra is talking about the source of all incarnations, Krishna, and one of the incarnation, which is Lord Ramchandra. So he is saying he comes to this place, and he is coming as Lord Rama or Lord Krishna, and he comes to this material world, and he comes in the form of a human being. He has immense potency and in various forms, all free from material contamination. His potency is immense. He has immense spiritual energy, and he has immense spiritual potency. And in all those forms, whether he comes as Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narsimha, Vamana, Parashurama, Srirama, Balarama, Buddha, Kalki, he comes in any of these forms, his potency is immense. And at the same time, he does not fall into any of the material contamination of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. He comes by his supreme will, he goes by his supreme will. He acts wonderfully. And how many wonderful pastimes we have. From Ramachandra, we have, he made the beautiful bridge to the Lanka. He fought with the monkeys. He is the one who gave pleasure to Kaushalya. He is the one who defeated Khara and Dushana. He is the one who actually protected the Yajna of Vishwamitra at the Siddhashrama. He is the one who wonderfully defeated Tataka. He is the one who actually avenged the abduction of Sita by killing Ravana. So all these acts are wonderful. If we talk about Krishna, what a wonderful act he has done. All the 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam are his wonderful acts. So Gajendra, in those 1,000 years while he was thinking, and at this time of prayer, he is thinking about these wonderful acts. Janma karma chame divyam, evam yo veti tattvataha, tyaktva deham punarjanma, naiti mameti so Arjuna. If we think about the beautiful transcendental birth activities of the Supreme Lord, then there is no repeated birth and death, assures Krishna, and that is what he is constantly thinking. And he says, you are the supreme Brahman, the impersonal form of the Lord, and hence I offer my respects unto him. All these are getting reverberated where in the Vaikunta, the prayers are reaching Vaikunta. And Vaikunta is saying, you are not in this material world, you are sitting there, you come from there. And Lord Vishnu is listening, and while Lakshmi is massaging the feet, she is actually listening to these prayers, saying, you have come in the past, you have come in the past as Rama and Krishna, so that means you do come into this material world. There is no special lockdown permission, no special passes to be taken, you do come down. So can't you come down for me? Can't you protect me? Can't you come down and save me from this crocodile? Please do come down for me. Now, many people will ask, why should the Lord even come down? He is so potent. He has to just send the chakra from the spiritual world. The chakra will go, cut this small, insignificant crocodile. Out of all the living entities, the most insignificant is the crocodile. It is just a jantu. It is just a, in fact, in Tamil, they say not even crocodile. The Alvars mention it, not even give the importance of a crocodile, which is actually an animal. They say it as neer puru. Puru means a worm, and they say neer. It is a small worm in the water. So why is even to kill a worm in the water, small worm in the water, the supreme Lord of all lords, that is Narayan, has to come down. Why can't he just send his chakra and get the job done and come back? Because he does come down, because he is Bhakta Vatsala, because he is very, very dear. His devotees are very, very dear to him. So for Rakshana, for actually protecting his devotees, he doesn't mind to even do the most menial of acts. Otherwise, this act can be done in a jiffy by just sending the chakra, but he comes personally. So this is what Gajendra is also tinkling with the hearts and the heartstrings of the Lord and saying, you have come many times before and your acts are very wonderful. Why don't you do one more act, wonderful act for me by coming down, and may you protect me. So this is what he's saying. And in the next verse, he's saying, internally, while externally you come down as Lord Rama, Krishna, and everything, he's saying, Nama Atma Pradipaya Sakshine Paramatmane, Namo Giram Viduraya Manasascheta Sammapi. He says, at the same time, while you come externally, internally, let me tell you, I offer my respectful obeisances uh, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is sitting in everybody's heart as Super Soul, self effulgent Super Soul, and who is the witness in everybody's heart. So, are you not witnessing what is happening? You are sitting right here in my heart. Are you not witnessing? This heart, the Super Soul, who enlightens the individual soul and who cannot be reached by exercises of mind, words, or consciousness. So, he's saying, you are sitting right here in my soul, and I cannot, by doing any kind of exercise or by words, I cannot reach you. but you are aware of everything that is happening in my body. Because of you, the soul is also there, and because of you and the soul being present there, there is consciousness all over my body. And based on that consciousness, don't you know there is pain coming from the bottom leg of mine, which is being completely chewed by the crocodile. So you are the ultimate witness. You are the Jagat Chakshu. You are the one who is actually the Jagat Chakshu. You are the witnesser. You witness everything which is happening. You witnessed even the battle before it began in Narsingha Leela. In Narsingha Leela, we all knew that Prahlad was asked the question, where is your Hari? Is he here in this pillar? Is he here in this pillar? Like this, one pillar Hiranyakashipu was showing. And at the same time, our acharyas explained what was happening on the other side. Lord Vishnu, who is there in every animate and inanimate, but he himself was positioning himself. He didn't know which pillar Prahlad will say Hari is in, right? So he was going in the background, in the back scenes. Narsingadev was going in every pillar and sitting himself. So maybe in this pillar I have to come, maybe in this pillar. So he was waiting for the signal of Prahlad Maharaj, and he was waiting. Finally, when Hiranyakashipu said, is he in this pillar? And Prahlad said, he is in this pillar. At that time, he went inside and started waiting for Hiranyakashipu to break open the pillar with his mace. At that time, our Acharya says, how did the Lord wait? The Lord was waiting. First, he took his nails and sharpened them. How did he sharpen? He started clawing on the pillar from inside so that the minute he touches, it will fall down. He couldn't even wait for, Hiranyakashipu to hit it 2 times, 3 times, so that then the pillar concrete will fall, then the iron casing will fall, then the cement will fall, then the brick will fall, then whatever is remaining, he has to then break it everything, and then he has to come outside. No, the Lord was already started clawing and making it internal. Why? Because the Lord, who is Narsingadev, is going to claw the insides of Hiranyakashipu, just like the pillars insides have been. And he is going to claw into the insides of all his devotees and rip open all the anarthas which are there. So the Lord was actually clawing inside. In fact, many people say he was doing the first manicure which was ever found. So he was doing that manicure inside. And then he was also putting special poison inside the nakha of the Lord, so that when he touches, Hiranyakashipu will die. So like this, the Lord has been so eager to protect his devotees. Gajendra is saying, you are sitting in my heart. You are the witnesser. You are witnessing everything. You have witnessed from outside these battles. You have come as Lord Rama. You have come as Lord Krishna. Why don't you come? You are sitting right in my heart, and I cannot reach you by any words or mind or action. Why don't you come? So this is the question which is being asked. And then he says, the place he has said, where is Lord? Lord is there in the spiritual world. He comes to the material world. And then he said he is also sitting in the heart. Now he is going to talk about, before the forms, he is going to talk about the, after the place, he is going to talk about the process by which you can achieve him. So he says, Satvena pratilabhyaya naishkarmanyena vipashchita namak kaivalyanathaya nirvana sukha samvide. How can you reach? Now that I know the destination, you are there in my heart and you are also in the spiritual world, and sometimes you come down. How can I reach you? This, he says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is realized by pure devotees who act in transcendental existence of Bhakti Yoga. We can achieve you only by, only in the sense, we can easily achieve you by Bhakti Yoga, and who act in that way. He is the bestower of uncontaminated happiness, which is not now completely removed from my life because this crocodile has caught me. I don't have any happiness. So you are the bestower of uncontaminated happiness, and you are at the same time master of this transcendental world. Therefore, I offer my respect unto him. Imagine these all verses are being blaring into Vaikuntha. Now, some little rasa has to be there, where we have to speak about what is happening in Vaikuntha. Our Sri Vaishnava Acharyas very nicely speak, while we have to sometimes borrow little Aishwarya Leela from the other Vaishnava scriptures also. They say on that particular day, when Lakshmi was massaging the feet of Narayan. Lakshmi said, every day you are going here and there. Today I want you to be in the house. This is a common request by all the Matajis or wives of the house. Husband means he's always busy, goes here, works for the country, works for the society, works for the community, works for the building, goes and acquires property, comes back acquiring property. So many things he has to do. Samaj Seva he keeps on doing, but house Seva is very little. So generally the wife say, today you are not going anywhere, you are sitting here. What am I supposed to do here? And said, no, I will speak, you will listen. But that is what I have been doing all my life. No, but today is a special day. I will talk more and you should listen more. Okay, fine. Narayan said, fine, today you have said it, so I am not going to go anywhere. Then they said that we will play a game today. Every day we have been just caught in these routine activities. Every day Vishwasena will come. Every day Purusha Sukta will be chanted. Somebody will do a chamar. You will dress very nice, tip top. Your Gada, Shankar, Chakra, Vaijanti, Mala, everything will be perfect. Garuda will come and stand. This official protocol system is very, very impossible. I cannot enjoy personal time with you, Narayan. So today we will play a game. He said, what game? A simple chess game we will play. Okay, we'll play chess. But then Lakshmi said, there has to be some bettings, some bet has to be there. If there is no bettings in the game, then there is no fun. Somebody has to lose, somebody has to win, somebody has to give up something. Narayan said, okay, fine, keep the bet. What is the bet? So Lakshmi said, if you lose the game today, and let me repeat this to you, Narayan, that if you lose the game today, today you cannot go anywhere. You are not even supposed to step outside Vaikuntha. All your Android Google Calendar appointments are cancelled. In fact, tell our Garuda to take a privilege leave and sick leave and park his vehicle in the parking lot. Tell Vishwasena not to offer you anything. Today is a personal time. You are not going anywhere. Narayan said, okay, fine. If I lose, that is the condition. Now you all might be thinking, what is the other condition? What if Lakshmi loses? Let me tell you, my dear devotees, Narayan never asked this. This is the secret of married life. You never ask on the other side that where if you lose, what will happen? Is it possible? First and foremost, even if it is not possible, is it worth it? All the enjoyment will go down the drain. So Narayan never asked the reverse condition of bettings, that if you lose Lakshmi, what is the condition? They started play the game. Our Narayan is perfect Bhakta Vatsala. Everybody wants to lose, want him to lose the battle when playing with our supreme consort of his, which is Mother Lakshmi. He lost the battle. When he lost the battle, Lakshmi said, today I have turned victorious, so you cannot go anywhere. Today all your appointments are cancelled. Everything is cancelled, and you have to stay here. Narayana said, okay, fine. But Lakshmi, he always knew that he has some kind of caveats running through, some kind of mischief he always does. So first she took her pallu and took his dhoti, and the first thing she did was tie a knot between his angavastra and also her pallu, so that he is tied physically at the spot and he is not going. Na ham vasami vaikunthe, na yogino hridaye ravo, madbhakta yatra gayanti, tatra tishtami narada. He has actually said this to Narada, that I am not there in Vaikuntha. I am not there in the heart of the yogis, where my devotees call me, where they do the Nama Sankirtana. There I am there. There I will be present personally. So, but here Lakshmi has physically tied him. This is the time, this is the time when the verse is going to come, where he is going to speak about the forms. At this time, when the tying has happened, then these verses are blaring into the speakers through the Wi-Fi in Vaikunta. Namashantaya Goraya Mudhaya Gunadharmine Nirvisheshaya Samaya Namo Jnana Ghanaya Cha. This is actually blaring. What is saying? I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Vasudeva, who is all pervading. Means you are there everywhere, but you are not in front of me right now. Gajendra is saying, to the Lord's fierce form as Lord Nrsingadeva. You came as Nrsingadev. To the Lord's form as animal Lord Varahadev. You immediately came from the nose of Brahmaji and lifted the entire earth in your tusks and gave a tight slap to Hiranyaksha. You are the one who came to Lord Dattatreya, about whom we will learn in the 11th chapter, 11th canto, when he is instructing as a Avaduta Brahmana to Yadu Maharaj. You are the one who preached impersonalism as Lord Buddha also to all the other incarnations, and hence I pay my respectful obeisances to you. You have no material qualities, but who accepts these qualities of goodness, passion, and ignorance within this material world. In fact, he is transcendental to passion, ignorance, and goodness, but he accepts these three qualities within this, who has no material qualities, but who accepts the three qualities of goodness, passion, and ignorance within this material world. I also offer my respectful obeisances unto the impersonal Brahman effulgence which comes from me. So this is the verse he is saying, you come as the greatest person as Vasudeva. So Srila Prabhupada says that only Jnanis, right, realize when they are in full knowledge that Vasudeva Sarvamiti Mahatma Sadurlabhaha. So at this point of time, these prayers are really, really resounding. And then he moves to the next prayer. Kshetrajnaya namastubhyam sarvadhyakshaya sakshine Purushatma Mulaya. This is the verse which makes the difference. Purushayatma Mulaya Mula Prakrtaye Namaha. So, in Tamil, when Ramanujacharya was explaining, one person asked, Are, what is this answer that Gajendra is giving? If in your house you are staying and a snake comes inside the house, and this is a question to all the audience who is listening to this. If a snake comes inside your house, can somebody tell me what will they shout, assuming you are afraid of the snake? Nowadays, it is the other way around, right? Sometimes we are bigger snakes than the snakes. But nevertheless, assuming that you are afraid of the snakes, can someone tell me, when you see a snake, what will you shout? Anybody? Any volunteer? Ravipati Prabhu?
Mother's name I will call.
Acha, you will call mother's name.
Yeah.
But first, after mother's name, if you want to tell others something grave has happened, what will you shout?
Might be I'll call Lord's name.
Okay, very good, Prabhu. You are one of the realized. Anybody else?
Snake.
Satyasha Prabhu has said it. Snake. Now let me ask another question. If somebody, a burglar comes inside the house, what will you shout? Chor. You never call, no? Police, please come. Police, please come. We never shout. We only say chor. So what should Gajendra actually shout? Crocodile only, no, he should shout. What did he shout? Vasudeva. So this was the question asked to Ramanujacharya. Imagine what tough questions people ask. Audience are also not like common people. They ask very tough questions. If you shout snake, if snake comes in front of you, if you shout chor, if chor comes in front of you, shouldn't you call crocodile? And hence Ramanujacharya, because the question was asked in Tamil, he also answered in Tamil. He said he shouted that only crocodile. Crocodile in Tamil is called as Mudalai. Mudalai. So he said this crocodile. But what in Vaikunta, when they forwarded, they heard Adi Mudalai. Adi Mudalai means the supreme person. So Vishnu said, now I have to go. So this is the beauty. The Lord, even though our prayers are imperfect, even though our prayers are talking about the material things, but the Lord takes the prayer very seriously. That is why we say in one of the shlokas, it is that even the Mahamantra, even if it is chanted improperly, of course we should pay all attention, because that is what in 8.2, in fact 8.1, 8.3.1, see Sukadeva Goswami says, Anushikshitam, we have to practice very nicely to chant. But even if we are not chanting in the most proper way, but it is also accepted by the Lord. And it is also accepted. And at this point of time, he's saying, Kshetrajnaya namastubhyam sarvadhyakshaya shakshine purushya tatma mulaya mula prakrtaya namaha. He's saying, I beg to offer my obeisances, who are the super soul, who is the super soul. You are the superintendent of everything and the witness of all that occurs. Are you not witnessing what is happening to me? You are the supreme person, the origin of material nature and the total material energy. You, everything is under you, Narayan. But are you not? You are the owner of this material body. You are, if you are the owner, if your house, you are the owner, and one part of the house is actually crumbling and falling, will you not repair it? Will you say, no, 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 I own only the bedroom. The hall can go in whatever way. No, if we are the owner, we will take care of the entire body. So you are the owner of my material body, and my leg is in trouble. Will you not come and take care? So you are also the owner of the material body. Therefore, you are the supreme complete because you own everything outside, everything inside. You are the owner. You are complete. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. And when he said this, Atma Mulaya, who are the original source of everything, at that time all the demigods said, after this prayer, we cannot help him because he has said so many qualifications. Not even one qualification we can ask for ourselves. And when he heard this, Lord Narayan kept both his feet on top of Adishesha and he gave full pressure and he jumped. And Lakshmi did not know what happened because Lakshmi had just tied her pallu with his dupatta, which is Hangavastra. The minute he jumped, the camera rotated. And now, please imagine in many films and series, don't say you don't watch them. I know somewhere or the other you might have watched. When the movie camera moves, sometimes a great activity is paused and a 360-degree rotation of that camera happens. What happens? The water is spilling, the person is reacting, and the person is jumping. All this is slow motionly captured or paused. And this pause happens by our acharyas, and they explain what happened. The chess coins which they were playing, it was flying in different directions. The chessboard was falling. Lakshmi, who was sitting very nicely and telling him, you will not move from here, got the jolt of her life because now he is jumping and her sari is connected to his Angavastra. She is being dragged along with him. Adishesha, who was nicely sitting and flipping his tongue at that time, because of the force which was applied on Adishesha, his millions of hoods, all the eye sockets started bulging out and all his tongues started coming out. And where did the Lord jump? The Lord jumped on Garuda, who had taken a privilege leave and a sick leave and said, today there is nothing. Today I am going to spend time with my family, friends and family. And his shoulder, he jumped. And when he jumped, Garuda got a stiff neck. From that day, he had to wear a rubber band like this, and then he had to look upside. So this jumping happened right on top of Garuda, and Garuda did not know what jumped on him. Feels like this lotus feet I know very well. And immediately when he jumped, the Lord said, go, go, go. Garuda was an Uber driver. He said, please put the GPS first. First, you tell me where is the destination. Give me the OTP. Without all these things, how will I go? He said, OTP chodo, over the top. You go to this particular place of Gajendra. I want to go and save him. So he couldn't even say all those. Lakshmi, who was dangling along with that dupatta, she asked, where are you going? And in fact, in Sri Vaishnava, there is a beautiful prayer of what was the answer of Lord Narayan. And in fact, he gave the answer in a jiffy, which he did not say, today one elephant, he was stuck. If he starts explaining like this, all the story would get completed in Ritumat in Trikuta. So he said, I am going for Gajam. He said, Gajam. Ga, he said in Vaikunta. Jam, he said, Jam, he came because he had to jump. So he said he jumped from Vaikunta and he came in a hurry. That is why he is called as Hari. No, in other words, Lord was called as Hari because he removes all the obstacles. In a jump, he came as Hari. What happened next? What prayers were said next? That we'll have to show tomorrow, because if I tell the whole pastime, nobody will turn up for tomorrow. So that's like mega serials. We will also put a to be continued ... So we will stop here. with this beautiful prayer, Kshetrajnaya Namastubhyam Sarvadhyakshaya Shakshine Purushyatma Moolaya Moola Prakrtaye Namaha. With that, Moola Prakrtaye Namaha. So he is Moola Prakrtaye. He is the original. Prakriti and Pradhan both are part of him, and for him I offer my respectful obeisances. So by offering such beautiful obeisances, Gajendra had made a plea to our Gajendra Varada, who is none other than our Supreme Lord Narayan. Narayan has already made the jump from Vaikuntha. By the time the prayers finish, let us see why did Gajendra pick up the lotus fire. Let's see what did the saints and sages who were witnessing this great tug of war, what did they mention? What are the further prayers of Gajendra? What happened to Lakshmi, who was dangling along with the Angavastra? Did actually Garuda fly by the pace what he was supposed to fly? What did Sudarshan Chakran do? What is Sudarshana Chakra did? That is very glorified. Many people nowadays are saying they made the first surgical strike, but the first surgical strike was done by Sudarshana. Let us talk about that as well. Was the surgery successful? Did the feet of Gajendra get saved? All these questions and the conclusion will happen tomorrow. So I request everybody that you please tune in for the last session, which is going to happen tomorrow, and let us see the glorious four learnings from Gajendra Udharana Leela, which we can take it in our hearts and which we can remember always. श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, गजेंद्र उद्धारण लीला की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, गजेंद्र वरदा लक्ष्मी नारायण की जय, Krishna ki jai. All glories to assemble Vaishnavas. All glories to assemble Vaishnavas. All glories to assemble Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. If there were any mistakes, clarifications, we can discuss. You are all Vidwans. You can complete those mistakes and clarifications. And if there are anything that is good, all glories goes to our Gaudiya and millions of Vaishnava Acharyas who have given exquisite commentaries on this great subject matter. Now we are open to questions, comments, clarifications. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions, comments, feedbacks, realizations?
Prabhuji, I had a small question. Pundariksha, you had told, no, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
What,
Dwaraka Anulaya Achada. Dev, yeah. Draupadi says
what
Pundari Aksha. Pundari Aksha means lotus eyes.
lotus
Yes,
eyes? Yeah, that's
yes,
what.
Mare Pundari Kaksham. Sarva Bahya Bhyantara Suchihi. Sri Vishnu. We say that as a purification mantra. The minute you remember the Pundari Aksha,
Correct.
that Pundari means the lotus eyed Lord, everything within and external and internal gets purified.
So
So
that
the Lord,
Shuddhikaran mantra, that is the same Pundiraksha, same word,
same word.
Draupadi, same word.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji, wonderful class, excellent rendition. The realization is, when will we come to this level?
Which level, bro? So let me give you a very funny answer. Let me give you a very funny answer, not from me. In fact, I had kept this for tomorrow, but since you asked this question, it comes at the right moment. When Lord Narayana actually came in front of Gajendra, all the sages, they were standing in line. All the Saptarishis, many people, they were standing in line, says the Sri Vaishnava commentaries. And they were astonished. They were like, कि ये क्या बात है? We are doing 10,000 millions of years of japa, and we are calling out to the Lord every second. Every second we are calling out to the Lord. He doesn't come. This small elephant caught by this crocodile called once Narayana as Adi Mulaya, this guy came from there. What is the secret? What is the same question that you asked? One of the sages asked in the line. And one sage started dancing there. He said, I found the secret. I found the secret. And everybody turned to him. He said, what is the secret? How can you get Narayan very quickly? He said, it's very simple. Find a nice pond, find a crocodile, put your leg inside it. The crocodile will catch your leg. And immediately, if you call, he will come. This seems to be the secret because there is no reason. He is causeless, right? And he came because of pure love. So the other answer is, when we develop this kind of love by constantly hearing the smritis of Hari, we become slowly purified. And maybe in one lifetime, we remember one of the Hare Krishna Mahamantras that we chanted in previous lifetimes, and we chant with more seriousness. And when we call out, Krishna will definitely come. Before we call, he will be there.
Yes, but in the material life that we are encountering, we don't have to go to any pond, any crocodile, anything. It is there staring at us at every juncture.
Yeah. But the only difference is, I do not know about you, Prabhu. The only difference in me is I am the crocodile. I'm catching everybody's leg. So, but the other way of saying is, though we are the crocodiles in this material world, if we catch the leg of our guru or a great Bhagavata or a spiritual devotee, which is the case, if the crocodile would have caught any other elephant's leg, nobody would have come, because he caught this Indradyumna, who was the previous great king who was rendering service unto the Lord. Because he caught the lotus feet of the Bhagavata or the spiritual master, which we are going to speak about in the next verses, right? That is where the success is. So, Mahajanasya Gatasya Yena Pantha. So, while we are in the material world, if we follow in the footsteps as mentioned by our Guru, as mentioned by spiritual master, by following their rules and regulations, we will also see Krishna face to face. And if we want to see Krishna face to face in this lifetime, very own this lifetime, Srila Prabhupada writes, please constantly read Srimad Bhagavatam. You will see the beautiful face of Shyam Sundar in every page. He is non-different.
Wonderful, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hari Hari.
Thank you. Any other question?
Prabhuji,
comment?
just
Yeah.
means I heard some, I am not sure. Sometimes this like Gajendra's pastimes and lot of our Haridas Thakur pastime, this is to develop the mood, means these pastimes are where we can, means we cannot we cannot do as they do, but we develop the mood, and some people we cannot do like them but directly, but we have to develop the mood and do the prayers. Means if we are chanting, we cannot chant 64 rounds, but if we are doing 16 rounds, we do it in that mood. That uh, is it correct, means that thinking, or
So this is like this. For example, when we came to ISKCON, we also felt that we won't be able to do the pujas, we won't be able to do the kind of festivals, participation like the other devotees are doing. And they are waking up at 4:30 a.m. in the morning and they are chanting 16 rounds. This is not being possible for us. We used to think like that, isn't it? But as and when we saw them again and again, and as we associated with them, some part of it came to us. Of course, the way we offer arti might be different from the first person whom we saw,
so,
will
yeah,
be different. But we learned some aspects from them. So similarly, these are the highest epitome of examples who have showcased to us how devotional service and how the moods of services are. They are exceptional devotees. We
yes,
cannot emulate or imitate them. But when we develop what they have developed, right? Of course, out of our humility, we cannot surpass them. But the individual loving connection between the Lord, the prayers of what happens in the heart
yeah,
are way wonderful, which pleases the Supreme Lord. The ultimate aim is to not to become equivalent to another Haridas Thakur or another Garuda or another. That we cannot do. But to learn from those prayers, and as you rightly said, develop the mood and bring our own prayers and remember these prayers. And then Krishna gives that intelligence. Matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha. Krishna gives that intelligence to fine tune those prayers, personal to what our realizations are. And then we can offer these beautiful flowers like how Gajendra is offering here
Yeah.
individually, one petal, one. Everything, please remember this. Everything you do, the next time in Janmashtami we go before the Lord, we see the flowers. Every day we offer a full flower. Suppose the same activity, I'm just giving you an example. Today I was trying it in front of my altar. Every flower I offer, but in every flower, if I tell a name of Krishna and offer Om Achyutaya Namaha, Om Anandaya Namaha, Om Govindaya Namaha. That means what? In every flower, I am remembering the Lord's pastime. This is a personalization that you can do. Suppose in every flower you take one petal and you take one petal and remember, oh, this flower petal Gajendra offered Adi Mulaya, Adi Karnaya. Okay, like this. Okay, I am also suffering like Gajendra. I am also in the vicious time. Can't you save me? Like that, you can think about these prayers. And I'm not telling you to concoct them, but you can put your personal emotions in these prayers and pray to the Lord. You will see that the deities are more smiling. You will see that the deities are more worshipable. The deities and our connection becomes more wonderful. And the next time we put our hands in the japa bag, the mind doesn't wander.
Very bold.
Because so this personalization has to happen, and the source of this inspiration are these great devotees. This Gajendra's prayer, Prahlada's prayer, this Kunti Maharani's prayer, and that is how we take the personalization. And then we hear to music, kirtan. When we hear Prabhupada singing with those tears, we listen to those emotions, not from an analytical point of view, understanding the prayers. And when he is crying, in between those, you will be able to understand what the heart is singing. There is a mouth which is singing, there is a prayer which is being sung, but in between, there is an emotional layer which is actually going, connecting between those. When you touch that live emotional wire, you will get the current. And when you get the current, you will dance as per how you have to dance in your emotional music. And that is the beauty of these prayers. And that is the beauty of this wonderful science of spirituality. And that is unique. And hence, we don't feel like we have to imitate Hanuman, we have to imitate, because we have a personal connection with Krishna and we have that personal journey. But any time we go back to them, take inspiration. I
Thank you,
hope that.
Prabhuji. Wonderful, wonderful class, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. If there are no other questions, comments.
So just a small comment.
Yeah.
It's nothing but we cannot imitate this great personality, but even in that severe difficulty, how this great personality able to remember?
Yeah.
Then what is the current position for us is the most enjoyable, or you call very glorious situation we are in.
Yes.
You know, even in that worst situation, those great personality able to remember the Lord, able to do devotional service. What to speak of us? We should do the best.
Yes.
In spite of provided what are all. My father always says, don't compare yourself to the rich person and get complexity. Better look at the poor person and you feel self-content.
Right.
You know, it is similar learning.
Yeah.
And seeing them and then become, decomposing of that. Oh,
Yeah.
God given this great opportunity. Prabhupada has given us this wonderful family.
Yeah.
What the great fortune it is. So thinking that aspect, we have to go forward.
Yes, and a beautiful thing that is mentioned is many times devotees, when they come to ISKCON and when they learn the language, one of the common pitfalls we see is that they become artificially humble.
I am most fallen, Prabhu.
I am most fallen. When Prabhupada says you are not most anything, because most means pride. I'm the most fallen. In that also we have category of all the people who have fallen. I am the first who is the most fallen. So there also it is not humility; it's actually pride. So Prabhupada says this. No, not many people say that this is this artificial humility false. And then what happens in this artificial humility is that people feel that they are not in the right frame to do anything. Oh, this is not possible by me. I cannot actually do. What can I do? And slowly they become depressed and they feel nothing can be done by them. Whereas if you see the most enthusiastic devotees, like the current all Prabhupada disciples, they will actually be so enthusiastic. They'll say, let's make the next temple. Let's make the next 20,000 Bhagavad Gitas disappear from the book distribution. Let's build a TOVP. Let's do Namahatta program. They are not depressed and saying, I cannot do in the humility fashion. In fact, they are on the battlefront trying to do many activities. So this